Hello friends, we'll be discussing pro rata allotment in relation to the company accounts and the various relations or rather various accounting methods for adjusting the pro rata allotment here. Now we'll be discussing the details about what do you mean by pro rata allotment, how it is supposed to be dealt with, and what is the calculation that is supposed to be done when it comes to pro rata allotment in company accounts. Let's read out certain facts of it. If the promoters of the company are reputed for their successful promotional successes, the applications are received for more than shares offered under prospectus, that is oversubscription. That means if the promoters of the company, for example, if this is a new company, in such a scenario, you cannot expect oversubscription scenario in this case unless and until it is Reliance coming into the question, or rather Reliance coming into the picture, or any other branded company which you have been knowing until and unless you have that kind of reputation of that specific company. So if in case, in simple plain words, if I have to say, if there is oversubscription here, that time pro rata comes into the picture. Now how exactly? We'll go on to the next point here. They may allot full shares to some of applications, or some applicants refuse allotment to others, accord partial allotment to someone. This way of allotting shares shows favor to someone and disfavor to others. So what basically they're trying to tell you is that if in case of pro rata, what happens is that some of the shares are rejected, some of the shares are fully allotted, and some of them are partially allotted as per the ratio. So for example, if you have applied for 2 shares, you might just get 1, which is partial allotment. If you have applied for 2 shares and you're getting 2 shares completely, that is full allotment. If you have applied for 2 shares and you're getting 0 shares allotted, then in that case your shares have been rejected. This is the only scenario that will happen, or rather these are the only 3 things that can happen under pro rata basis. Hence they are saying that it favors someone and it disfavors someone. So these are the details of pro rata. Let's go on to the next point now. Instead of showing favor to certain applicants by allotting them full applied shares and disfavor to others by rejecting their applications, the company should treat all the applications of shares at par and allot them shares on pro rata basis or proportionately. It means that all the applications have been allotted or refused allotment on proportionate basis. For example, a company issued 60,000 shares, receives application for 2,40,000 shares and makes pro rata allotment. So whenever we are talking about favoring and disfavoring, we need to understand that at any given point of time, you have to make sure that pro rata allotment isn't favoring any single category of people. Under pro rata, what happens is that you get allotted with certain proportionate number of shares. So everyone doesn't get everything, but everyone does get something of all the applications that are received. Hence, when we're talking about pro rata allotment, hereby 10,000 applications, or rather in this example what they have mentioned, the shares issued amounted to 60,000 or 40,000. However, they have received applications for 2,40,000 and they went ahead with the pro rata basis. That means 2,40,000 were adjusted in such a way that all these shareholders will get certain shares, or rather at least 1 share each, in kind of pro rata allotment or some other value of shares, which is known as pro rata allotment here. Let's go on to the next point now. Now, as per the example that was given here, let's mention, or rather they have mentioned certain point here. Let's read it out. This will mean that the applications have been allotted 25% of the shares applied. In other words, applications, or rather applicants of or 100 shares must have been allotted 25 shares. For 500 shares must have been allotted 125 shares, and for 1000 shares 250 shares would have been allotted here. That means they're saying that 25% shares were allotted. So people who would have applied for 1000 shares, they must have got 250 shares here, because 25% is only what they're allotting of the total applications they have received. Hence, 2,40,000 is divided in such a way that every category is getting certain shares, not their complete applications, but if they've applied for 4 shares, they're getting at least 1 share for their reference. And this is how they're adjusting that total 2,40,000 into 60,000, or they're curbing down that much of amount so that there is no favoritism, or rather no favor to one specific category, and every category of applications is getting certain shares for their name, or rather on their name. Let's go on to the next point now. Now we need to understand what is the accounting treatment of pro rata basis, how exactly in accounts we deal with this term. In case of pro rata allotment, excess application money received is transferred to the share allotment, and while receiving allotment money, excess application money received is adjusted towards allotment account. Now, whatever excess application money we have, because people have already applied for 2,40,000 shares, they have already paid up that application money. So whatever excess money we have will be adjusted in allotment. Now adjusting in allotment means what? If you're supposed to receive, or rather let's say we have excess fund of 2,40,000 with us, let's assume that part. Now allotment money we are supposed to receive 3 lakh rupees in total. Now how will we discuss this, or how will we adjust this? In allotment we are supposed to receive 3 lakh rupees. We have already received excess money as part of pro rata basis, which is 2,40,000. Hence while receiving allotment we won't receive 3 lakh rupees in total, we'll receive only 60,000, because 3 lakh minus 2,40,000 is the balance 60,000 which we can expect to receive. Nothing else will be received apart from that, because that amount has been already adjusted in terms of the pro rata allotment that we had discussed. So this can continue further into final call as well, first call as well, depending on the excess balance that we have. If mostly the excess balance whatever we have gets adjusted in terms of the allotment itself, but if it is not happening, then it can go to first call, it can go to final call as well. So that completely depends on the company, or rather it's at company discretion itself. So this is what we had to discuss about when it comes to pro rata allotment or pro rata basis. Now whenever pro rata basis comes into the picture, make sure there are 3 categories or 3 scenarios that can happen in any given point of time. First, that is a part of shares will be rejected, and second will be full allotment, third will be partial allotment. All these 3 scenarios may be a part of one specific pro rata allotment. It may or may not. I'm not saying that it will be, it may or may not. Hence, if it is a part, you have to go in that chronological order itself for your better understanding. Hence, while you're solving pro rata analysis sums, make sure that you work down all these pro rata terms, and then you go ahead with the calculation part of the ratios there. So this is all what we had to discuss when it comes to pro rata analysis and accounting treatment of it. So thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned with Ekeeda and keep subscribing to Ekeeda.